The markets are still pretty confused in all things Federal Reserve right now. That confusion on monetary policy is something we've been digging into all this week in our series, Fed Fundamentals. Let's bring in our very own Fed insider, Brian Cheung. Brian, Jay Powell created a lot of uncertainty last week.
He did.
Where is he right now?
Well, right now, markets are pricing in a 100% chance of at least one rate cut in the next meeting in September.
Shocker.
Shocker, but I mean, doesn't it feel so long ago that the FOMC happened anyway? So much has happened since Wednesday.
It's crazy.
And if you're talking about the Fed, you're wondering about how the data points that we received in just the last 7 to 8 days impacts what the Fed is seeing. And I think that's why you're seeing some of the markets kind of move towards pricing in that cut in September because of the negativity that's been coming from the trade war. Jerome Powell saying in the conference that, trade is one of the biggest reasons why they had to do that insurance cut of 25 basis points in the first place. And because of the exacerbation that we've seen from the currency related issues between the US and China, particularly at the beginning of this week, you do wonder about whether or not those would point to more easing later this year.
So yeah, that's my next question. Beyond September, what are the Fed funds futures telling you? What is the market expecting?
Yeah, well, markets are expecting, more cuts beyond that as well. Keep in mind, I think there's another 2 meetings after September before we finish up in 2019. But that actually doesn't square with what the Fed officials have telegraphed in the June meeting with their dot plots, right? We didn't get a new set of dot plots in the meeting last week, but in the June meeting, they said that 8 members saw at least the case for at least one rate cut by the end of this year. 7 of them saw 2 rate cuts. So if we do get a rate cut in September, that would be the 50 basis points that the 7 members saw as the bottom for the rest of this year. But you do wonder, because in the September meeting we will get another round of fresh dot plots. So maybe because of the developments that we've seen in the past few weeks, namely,
like you said,
the last
so
7
much
days,
has happened
right,
since
people
those
might
last
revise
dot plots.
down what they
It's not a Friday without talking some dot plots. Brian Cheung, appreciate it, buddy. Thank you.
Yep.